All right, everyone, welcome back. I'm Niz, and this is Game 3, the final game of our series in the Dota 2 Canada Cup Losers Bracket Finals between Boreal eSports and Wheelwreck While Whistling.
Remaining.
Game 1 went to Boreal.
5 seconds
They did a level 1 Roshan. And from there, they just they kept snowballing with it. And they took Game 1 pretty convincingly. Game 2 went almost the complete opposite. Without a Roshan, but almost the complete opposite. Wheel got off to a great start early on. And then just kept the ball rolling. We did see maybe a little bit of throws coming out from Wheel, but some perseverance coming out from Boreal. Not the item, but the fact that they just wanted to stick it out and try and hope that they could come back from a 2 racks deficit. There was moments where maybe there was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but they just couldn't seem to get there. And Wheel did manage to take that game, but now we've got Game 3. Game 1 and 2 don't matter anymore. Because it was a best of 3, now it's a best of 1. This is the only game that's going to matter. Third place goes to the loser. The winner moves on to our grand finals on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. EST
5 seconds remaining.
to play up against the North American Rejects in a best of 5.
Reserve time.
And those are going to be some pretty damn entertaining games. We got $11,898. I didn't check to see if it has increased. Can I check right now? Let's check. What are you going to tell me here? Oh, we're on the wrong page. Where are we at? Oh, it still says 11,898. So we haven't got closer to that 12,000,
10
but
seconds remaining.
maybe we will during the grand finals. But getting there, of course, you can increase that by buying one of the in-game tickets for, I believe it's $8.99 US.
Time.
And that gives you Sven's set and access to all the replays and everything associated with this tournament. So not only are you supporting the tournament, but you're also supporting the players, because 12.5% of that ticket price goes directly back into the prize pool, just like the compendium does for TI. Same thing happens for the Dota 2 Canada Cup.
Dire team ban.
Speaking of TI, Boreal, one of those teams that was excluded. Not excluded, but they weren't on the list for the qualifiers. Expected them to be one of the
10
more
seconds
promising
remaining.
teams in the Open. Didn't even make it to the finals.
Dire
Didn't make it to the
team
semifinals. They had a little bit of a disappointing run. I think they were eliminated in the quarters. But Wheel was one of those teams that, well, they didn't have to worry about the Open
Radiant
qualifiers,
team
as they just
pick.
got invited directly to the qualifiers. And we'll be seeing more of them in those qualifiers in just under a week's time, I believe. It should be. Well, today's Tuesday, and I believe they start on Monday. So we'll be able to see a bunch more of Wheel as they get those games going. But, well,
10 seconds remaining.
we've got this one game between Boreal and Wheel to watch, and then
5 seconds
one of these
remaining.
teams, that'll be it for their Dota 2 Canada Cup run. And the other one, we will get to see at
Reserve
least
time.
3 games, maybe even potentially 5 games going up against North American Rejects. And that should definitely be thrilling to watch. But let's catch up in our draft here. We've got Wisp and Leshrak banned out by Boreal eSports. Clockwork and Queen of
Dire
Pain were the
team
bans for Wheel. And we had Gyrocopter first pick, followed by a Lion for Wheel. Earthshaker and Shadowfiend were the responses for Boreal. Then the bans: Visage and Dragon Knight banned out by Boreal. Enchantress and Witch Doctor banned out by Wheel. Then we had Lena getting picked up by Boreal and Sand King getting picked up by Wheel. And Tusk now
Radiant
getting picked up
team
by
pick.
Boreal. This is a hero they love to play. And they put it primarily in the off lane, as it's a hero that Jeppins has been playing a lot of. They were experimenting with it in a bunch of different leagues that I've seen them playing, and maybe a little bit of lower level or lower skill level leagues. not to hate on some of those leagues. I cast one of them, the Saturday Dota League. I cast those every Saturday, so be sure to check that out.
5 seconds remaining.
But Jeppins played that in actually week
Time.
1 of the Saturday Dota League. I think he played in both games. But when they went up against No Brood Mama, they ended up losing both those games. They were playing with a couple stand-ins, but still, they played the Tusk and they were messing around with it. I saw them play it in another tournament as well. I don't remember exactly which one it was. But, you know, they did work with the Tusk. It certainly wasn't on the back of them having a Tusk that they lost. So it'll be interesting to see what Boreal is going to be able to do here with the Tusk. Because obviously they've got a lot of confidence in it to be able to pick it here when the rest of their tournament's on the line right now. So they certainly have some confidence with it. But so far we've got the Earthshaker, Shadow Fiend, Lina, and Tusk. Shadow Fiend going to be in the mid lane, played by KVH. We pretty much know that. Earthshaker, most likely played by PQ. He plays an outstanding Earthshaker, and every time I've seen them play pick the hero, he's been on it. So expect that. Like I said, Jeppin's going to be playing the Tusk. That leaves Pizza Dad on the Lina, and then we're just waiting for Kikoni's hero. So he'll be, I guess, farming up in the safe lane, as I imagine KVH is going to take that Shadow Fiend mid. Unless Kikoni's a better Shadow Fiend player than KVH, but I doubt it. Not to knock on Kikoni, but KVH does play a pretty damn good Shadow Fiend, so I doubt they're going to swap him off of that. We do have an Invoker getting picked up by Wheel. And we're also going to see the Gyro again. So Gyro, Lion, and Sand King is going to be their tri-lane. Invoker going to be in the mid lane. And now we just wait on most likely their off-laner. There is the possibility that they run the Sand King in the off-lane again and choose to pick up a support hero. And Boreal's final ban was the Winter Wyvern. So they're saying, you know what? Sand King's probably in the off-lane. Mike's been playing that. And, well, we're going to ban out a hero that we're actually really worried about in terms of support, and that's going to be the Winter Wyvern. So that is no longer in the pool, and frankly, that's a hero that would be quite strong against Boreal's lineup. Of course, the defensive aspect of it, being able to freeze a target so that it doesn't take any damage from magical sources. You look at, from physical sources. Excuse me. You look at all the physical damage that can come out from Boreal. That would be quite devastating to them, as well as having, well, the ultimate coming out from the Winter Wyvern, having everyone focus a hero could be pretty devastating to Boreal's lineup. So they removed
10
that.
seconds remaining.
Ogre Magi was the ban from Wheel, but Boreal was on a completely different page. They went with the Anti-Mage. A little bit surprised that they banned out the Ogre there. It's quite surprising. Dazzle's the pick for a Wheel. So it is going to be an offlane Sand King, Invoker mid, Gyrocopter farming safe lane with a Lion, and Dazzle as supports. What's really strong about Dazzle to counter Tusk is that when Tusk is going to be snowballing in, and you know where the focus is kind of going to be. So Dazzle can kind of preemptively say, okay, I need to shallow grave here, and then he just times his shallow grave appropriately to make sure the target doesn't get blown up. But he has to at least wait until they've kind of committed to the engage on that target and they start getting prepared to unload all that stuff. As Dazzle can't really prevent any of that damage from coming out, but he can prevent the hero from dying and then try to heal them up after most of it's gone through. So he'll look to do that. But I think that's a great pick for them. I'm not sure if I like exactly how it works with their lineup. It's great at keeping Gyro alive, but apart from that, synergy is not really the greatest, but they'll make it work. It's certainly a great support hero to counter what Boreal has. Any kind of plus armor to your team through Weave is going to be great against Boreal, because like I said, a lot of physical damage, and as well as reducing the armor on Boreal's is good for your damage output as well. But let's introduce the teams and the players. On the Radiant side, we've got Wheel. They won our last game. And there are defending runners-up of the Dota 2 Canada Cup, looking to get back to the grand finals this time around. We've got Sleazel playing the Gyrocopter. Derp's going to be playing the Dazzle. He's been their drafter. Goody is going to be their playing Lion. Relic is going to be on the Invoker. And all the way in the bottom lane is going to be Ix Mike, who's right next to everyone on the side of Boreal. He needs to be quite careful. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's in trouble, but look at that. Nice skill up there. That's so important to not level something up preemptively, but is it going to be enough to get Ix Mike away? He's got to the tower, but it's not going to be enough. First Blood's going to go the way of Boreal. Well, if the other games were telling, First Blood went to the winner. But I don't think that's necessarily a trend that we should associate First Blood with. As for our dire side heroes, it's going to be Boreal eSports. KVH is going to be playing their anti-mage, so he's not going to be on the Shadow Fiend. It is going to be Kokoni on Shadow Fiend. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Pizza Dad's going to be on the Lina. Jeppin's going to be on the Tusk. And PQ is going to be on the Earthshaker. So I was right on everything else. But I did get that wrong. Derp and Goody going to make a rotation, but right into PQ and Jeppins. And now Derp gets separated a little bit from Goody, and no, he's in trouble. He does have Shallow Grave available to him. Sitting on 100 HP, hasn't used it just yet. But what's the damage that's going to be able to come out? There's Fissure off cooldown, but no mana. No way to replenish that mana either for PQ, as PQ's just kind of blocking Jeppins. There comes the Fissure. It's going to block off Goody. Derp. Is he going to use the Shallow Grave? He will. And now they're going to look to turn around the Centaur. Which team is that thing on? As it's going to stun them up, but they'll still be able to get the kill onto Goody. Derp now with nothing. He's already used a Shallow Grave. No heal available to him. Still level 1. He's going to go down. 3 kills going the way of Boreal. They're going to look to make it 4 as they're going to stun up Sleazel. He's going to try to run away. Gets trapped with the Ice Shards. Right click coming out from Pizza Dad, followed by the Dragon Slave. It's our 4th kill. And we saw game 1. Boreal get off to a 4-0 start. Then game 2, Wheel got off to a 4-0 start. Game 3, now it's Boreal 4-0. There are trends here. There are trends. But yeah, you can't look too deep into that. But interesting lanes we've got here. We've got an off-lane Animage going up against. Well, it was a safe lane Sand King. It was a little bit of a dodge by putting their Animage in the off lane. But we're going to see the lanes adjust quite a bit here, as Wheel's certainly going to abandon their aggressive tri-lane, as they've already moved Sleazel to the bottom lane, and now Derp's made his way down here. Ix Mike rotating away from the bottom lane through the jungle, probably eventually going to make his way up to the top, or he might just jungle actually, as Goody looks like he's going to stay up here in the top lane.
Invisibility.
Mid lane, it is the Invoker against Shadow Fiend. That one's not really going to be moving too much. Just expect that to stay how it is. The bottom lane, though, Sleazel's in more trouble, and his supports are too far. Derp trying to make his way over there, but he doesn't even realize Pizza Dad's right in behind him in Viz. There was a sentry ward there, so maybe he actually saw him. Ix Mike now. Gonna sit and try to bring down this creep wave. Pizza Dad may actually wait for these to get low and then throw out the Dragon Slave. Oh, they're just going to go right for Ix Mike. Stun him up. Dragon Slave. PQ throws out the Fissure. Now Ix Mike's got no mana. Very little HP as well. Pizza Dad getting quite low. The Cold Snap's dealing a lot of damage, but Sunstrike. Is it off the mark, or Pizza Dad just did a good job of dodging it because he knew it was coming? Credit goes to both, I guess. Kokoni now. He's come in for a little bit of aggression, but he's taking a little bit too much damage and he'll have to back away. So we won't have any blood shed there, but still 5-0 lead for Boreal. This Derp's kind of been left here in the bottom lane. Solo safe lane Dazzle. Pizza Dad and PQ still roaming around in the jungle.
Money changes hands.
Jeppin's kind of left in the off lane here, and with the kind of start that they've had so far and the fact that Dazzle's just down here, they can basically just leave Jeppins, and You've created this awkward situation for Wheel where they didn't know where to put everyone. It's weird. It's almost like they started aggressive and now they're just left dodging and running around, which is the complete opposite of what you want. You've got a lineup where I don't know. It's awkward. It really is awkward. Boreal's tri-lane is incredibly strong. But at the same time, like, Wheels isn't that weak. Now, Goody getting some good damage there on KVH, but it was kind of a bait. PQ comes in from behind, lays down the fissure. Goody's trapped now. KVH will lose a bunch of his mana. PQ losing a bunch of his HP. Well, who will we lose first? It's going to be KVH. No, it's not. It's going to be Goody. KVH will still go down. Derp getting the return kill there. So Wheel gets their first kill on the board, but they're finding themselves behind 5 kills already early on. As for our mid lane, it is a 2 CS advantage going the way of the Shadow Fiend, who's actually up in the jungle right now, getting a little bit more of that high value CS. But mid, relatively even lane so far. As for Jeppins, he's our 3rd highest farmer in the game. He's sitting at 24 and 10 right now. Mike comparatively is at 14 and 0. Our 2 safe lane, or farming carries I should say, who knows what lane they've been in. Sleazel, he's sitting at 23 and 7 on the gyro. And KVH he's fallen a little bit further behind. He's just sitting at 14 and 5. But they'll be able to get him back in the game. And now he's hasty. He's going to run after Goody, and they're going to find a kill. Ice Shards is going to get the kill there. Now they're going to go for Relic as well, who will get punched up in the air. Now Shallow Grave will keep him alive. As will they look to try and turn around on this? They don't really have much. But Jeppins, it seems like the mana never ends on this Tusk, because he constantly has mana to do everything. And he's certainly not stopping the aggression. Kikoni, TP's back in. Are we going to have a snowball here and a dive? Looks like it. They're really grouping up on each other. Pings are coming out from the Lion. Just pinging that they were going to be coming in. Maybe saying that there's probably a ward here, but there isn't. There is an observer ward for the Radiant side.
Radiant's middle tower
Could easily
is
have just been ping saying, hey, they're rushing at us. Respect it. Back away. There's the snowball. As he actually snowballs into the neutrals. Maybe a misclick? I'm not sure. Now Ice Shards will come out. Jeppin's definitely contesting this camp. Not letting IX Mikey get this farm. He's about to hit level 6, but he's just under 1,000 gold right now, and that's a little bit disproportionate to where you kind of normally would be at that point. That observer ward getting countered by the Dire side. So Boreal not letting that stand, and look, another ping coming out from Relic saying, hey, there's a ward here. So he's not the only one. Wheel definitely thinks there's an observer ward there. But I don't know if they're going to counter it per se, but there definitely is an observer ward there. So you can say that maybe that's a mistake coming out from them, thinking there's an observer ward there. But actually, I'll get to that in a second. Sleazel going down the top lane. Jeppins and Pizza Dad are both kind of low. Jeppins bottling himself up. Pizza Daddy may be low, but he's not going down here. Derp will shallow grave himself. Pizza Dad doesn't have a shallow grave, so he'll go down to a right click from Derp. But Jeppins gets that return kill. In fact, the creeps actually do. But some credit has to go to Kikoni for potentially selling that observer ward up on the high ground, as your positioning and the way that you play can definitely trick your opponent into believing there's vision where there isn't, or vice versa. It's the same thing as baiting, except you're baiting a ward. You're baiting different positioning. You're trying to trick your opponent into playing into your hand. And yes, that little plays extend to tricking the enemy off our mid laner into thinking there's an observer ward there, which in turn will cost the enemy support 100 gold to place down a sentry. Of course, they have to come in twos as well, so that's even a harder hit on the supports. But it's always good to have a set of sentries anyways, but you want to kind of delay that sentry purchase as long as you realistically can. Pizza Dad coming down here. I think he wanted a ward. He did place a sentry to make sure that his movement down here into the bottom lane wasn't spotted by any observer ward, but it gets spotted by an actual dazzle, so no need for an observer ward when you just have an actual hero there. Observer ward getting placed there, but there's already one from the Radiant side, so it gets pinged out immediately. Now, what are they going to look to do? They do have a haste bottle on Kokoni. Now they're going to do a little bit of counter warding, as they'll find an observer ward. And Kokoni actually buying his blink dagger already on the Shadow Fiend. They're definitely looking to keep aggressive, keep going after Wheel. If they're making the rotation in here, Mike's sitting there. He's getting close, very, very close. 100 gold away from his blink dagger. Here comes the snowballs. They're going to go on to Relic. Mike's going to stun. Just going to stun up Jeppins, but the finger comes out from Goody. Going to drop Jeppins. And now Boreal. They're on the run. They've maybe gone a little bit too far here. Will they be able to drop Derp Derp? Derp Derp actually throws out a heal. Doesn't even shallow grave himself. No need, I guess. Pizza Dad goes down. With that, Mike able to purchase his Blink Dagger. So we're going to have a Blink Dagger Sand King. And Boreal, which was off to a great start, might be giving a little bit of it back to Wheel. As Wheel definitely came out on the better end of that one, as they managed to drop 2 heroes. And KVH, he's sitting at 49 and 8 CS. He's actually just 1 gold CS behind the Gyro. In fact, he's even now. He's a little bit further behind in Denies, but that's not really that important in terms of CS at this point. So he's kind of caught up, but it's still going to take a little while before he gets his Battle Fury going and really starts accelerating that farm. And he should get to a point where he's going to farm much faster than the Gyro. But Gyro, one of those heroes that is a lot more capable of going and getting stuff done and playing aggressive. Mike will use that Blink Dagger to stun up Jeppins. Sunstrike comes out from Relic, getting Jeppins low, but once again, he just bottles himself back up. Kokoni now, moving to the bottom lane.
Mine.
Well, is this actually going to stay in the jungle and farm up instead? He does have a regen bottled, so might as well get in the jungle, use up a bunch of your mana, even a little bit of your HP to farm up those camps. But it's a little bit scary sometimes when you're in the enemy jungle if you don't know exactly where all of them are, and you're kind of operating on that low HP, especially against something like a Blink Sand King.
Dark light.
Now, there is going to be a dive here coming out from Wheel. They've got 4 heroes in the top lane. As Jeppins hops into the snowball. Shallow Grave comes out from Derp Derp to make sure Sleazel doesn't go down. Kokoni comes in with the Blink and the Requiem. Jeppins gets away alive. Mike not so lucky. He goes down. Will they be able to get another kill here? Goody turned around to throw out the Earth Spike, but he goes down to the Mana Void. And now Kokoni blinks forward. 2 raises, an auto attack, and then a 3rd raise. And Derp Derp goes down. As 13-5 now for Boreal eSports. They weren't looking so hot the last fight, but that fight was definitely Boreal favored once again. Take a quick look at our show fight recap. See that being about a 1,500 gold swing, those 3 kills in favor of Boreal. Mike TP's on up here. I'm going to switch on over to the network and see where we stand. As looks like everyone on the side of Boreal has backed away from this tier 1. So we can take a look at the net worth, and we got 6,800 for the Shadow Fiend. These are number 1. Number 2 is going to be Relic on the Invoker at 5.9. Oh, he needs to be careful here. He's going to potentially walk right into Pizza Dad and Jeppins. Not wanting to waste any time, he goes down to this camp instead of waiting for the other one to spawn, and that actually saved his life. Now we've got the 3 heroes on the side of Wheel in the mid lane. You see just how far down the Anti-Mage is on this net worth. It's going to take him a little bit to get that Battle Fury up, but when it does, he's going to explode and farm. But you can compare him to the Gyro, right? There's not that big of a difference between those 2 heroes. You compare the 2 mid heroes, not that big of a difference. The big difference is this Tusk and how far ahead he is in relation to the Sand King. But Sand King has his blink. Yes, there is a bunch of other luxury items you'd like to have on a Sand King, but the core is just the blink. So it can be very, very functional with just that blink dagger. So there certainly is an advantage for Boreal right now, but it's not as big as it might seem. I'm actually going to bring up the gold graph because I'm curious to see what it's going to display. 2,500 gold in favor of Boreal. XP, yeah, about, well, just under 1,500 XP advantage for Boreal. So definitely showing a lead for Boreal, but it's not really that drastic. It's certainly not as drastic as the gold may appear. It looks like it's not going to be a push for the tier 1 in the mid lane. But we will lose KBH as he goes down in the mid lane. I don't know how that happened, but either way, Jeppins is going to go down. As Goody will go down shortly after. Yep. Now Derp is going to fall as well as Kikoni and PQ going to combine for that kill. Derp even tried to TP out, but that fissure canceled it. See, I don't know how it happened, but KBH died in here. He must have gone in and engaged on the Invoker or something. But he went down. As it looked like all the heroes had kind of backed away, or at least knew where each other were and weren't really looking. No one was really looking to go aggressive there. Maybe Pizza Dad engaged or something and it just didn't work out between them. And KVH unfortunately went down. But either way, we had a dead Anti-Mage. Sorry I missed that on the camera for you guys, but I'll try to not miss any in the future. There was more kills going on bottom, so I guess I've got a decent excuse on that one. Ike's Mike lies in wait in the trees below the mid lane. There aren't any enemy heroes on the other side though. Take a look at KVH. What does he have? Just the Perseverance, 850 gold. Battle Fury still a ways away.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Smoke from Pizza Dad and PQ. Make sure that they can get this
Dire's
Observer Ward down without being
fortified.
spotted. So the Observer Ward should be able to stay alive a little bit longer. But we already saw that one
Dire's
rotation
middle
from
tower
Pizza
has
Dad
been
earlier.
denied.
As he came down to the bottom lane and he preemptively sentryed just to make sure that his rotation wouldn't be spotted. So that victim could easily fall victim to something like that. Sentry getting placed in the mid lane. It's going to wipe out the Dire
Radiant's
side
top
sentry.
tower
There
is
is
under
a Dire
attack.
ward up on the opposite high ground. Which is going to make it difficult for these supports
Radiant's
to get
top
to and
tower
counter
has
ward, but they
fallen.
do have vision with their sentry. Kikoni going for that double damage rune at the top rune location. IX Mike blinks in and stuns. Now Kikoni pops the BKB. Will he be able to get the Requiem off? He will. Oh my goodness, he's on no HP. And instead, they turn it around. They drop IX Mike. Will they be able to get another kill? Jeffins gets fingered. Earthspike finishes him off. But Kikoni, still on no HP, jumps on in, gets them another kill. Relic just sitting there in Viz. Eventually, Kikoni will go down, explodes with that Requiem. Pizza Dad cleans up with the Dragon Slave on the Invoker, then lands a stun onto Sleazel. Will he be able to finish him off? Doesn't look like it. Now he's got to run away from Derp, but I don't think he's done. He's going to try to wrap all the way around, try to find the gyro. Not going to be able to get there in time instead. He realizes it and he'll back away. He'll actually hide in the trees. And then just TP home. Crazy fights coming out between these two teams. 900 gold. Advantage there. We almost have a Blink Dagger coming out for Goody. He's sitting at 2,000 gold right now. Mike's Console Ring. Yeah, Tranquils are going to get finished right now. What is Sleazel looking at? He's got his Ogre Club, 2,400 gold. Probably a BKB going to be his first item. It certainly isn't a bad item pickup against the likes of Boreal. What about KVH? How close is he? 850 gold, almost done. Just waiting for that last component for Battle Fury. He'll have it shortly.
Under attack.
And then the farm really starts. But look at the difference. Those last couple fights, we had the Anti-Mage ahead of the Gyro, but not anymore. He's 700 gold behind him now. Missed a kill as Relic manages to land one in the bottom lane on PQ on that Earthshaker, but now we've got more action in the top lane, or do we? IX Mike and Sleazel trying to disengage, but Kikoni blinks forward, but IX Mike's there to cover with the stun. Now the snowball comes rolling through, stuns up Sleazel. Which one are they going to try to focus down? It's like a bit of each. IX Mike channels the epicenter, he looks to re-engage, blinks on in, but Kikoni says, you know what, I'm just going to channel the Requiem, but isn't able to get a kill there. Relic comes in and gets a kill on him instead. Now gets tossed up in the air by himself to keep himself alive. There comes the snowball coming in from Jeppin. The Walrus punches to finish him off. And then IX Mike comes in with Sleazel to finish him off. Pizza Dad throwing down a stun. Somehow that didn't stun Derp, but does stun up Sleazel. And that should be enough for Pizza Dad to get away. Or maybe not. Blink coming out from IX Mike. And then Pizza Dad gets the stun off, but not enough to finish him off. Now PQ throws out his fissure. But yeah, he thinks better of it and just backs away. He's the only one left up there. KVH was just farming the enemy jungle. Battle Fury finished. Why not? Accelerate that farm. He's sitting 800 gold behind right now at 21.5 minutes. Expect that to that gap to close very, very quickly. Sleazel just finishes a BKB. Give him a lot of ability to farm, or to fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Treads
attack.
finished by Derp. Still nothing new coming out from IX Mike. Got a lot of items like Relic. Midas, Boots of Travel, two relatively farming items. Then we've got the Yule Scepter, defensive but also offensive item when it comes to Invoker. And then we've got an Ogre Club as well. Is that going to be a BKB? Is it going to be an Aghanim Scepter? I don't know. BKB's a possibility. We'll look to see what he's going to choose.
Tis mine.
Got the Blink Dagger on Goody. We've already checked IX Mike. Just Sleazel that we have to check in, which he did finish his BKB, but he's up to 1,500 gold. It's going to be a Morbid Mask. So going the Helm of the Dominator out.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
As for Dire, we've got PQ sitting on his mana boots, but more importantly at 1,600 gold, so getting close to that Blink Dagger. Skipping over KVH for a second. As Kikoni, he's got his BKB, which is now down to 8 seconds. He's got his Blink Dagger and also an Ultimate Orb. IX Mike channeling the epicenter. It's going to look to engage. He's going to stun up PQ. Sunstrike's going to finish him off, but Pizza Dad's there with the Laguna to get the return kill. Speaking of the Laguna, Pizza Dad
Radiant's
almost
middle
done
tower
his
is under
Yule
attack.
Scepter, so that'll be finished real soon. As he just needs the final recipe there. Jeppin's also just finished a Desolator prior to that engagement at the bottom. So he's got that extra minus armor for them, and that's going to make his Walrus Punch hit damn hard. And help him finish off some of these squishier targets a little bit faster, but also, I mean, it'll help bring down all of them. And all of them aren't really, or none of them are really that high armor targets. Obviously, Weave changes that a little bit. But now they make their way into the Roche Pit. The minus armor definitely helping here. There was a Sunstrike, so Wheel does know. And certainly they walked in through this Observer Ward vision. But Boreal doesn't seem to care, but maybe they should, because Wheel's here. They've smoked up. Stuns coming up from IX Mike, leading the way. Kikoni blinks on in, lets the Requiem fly. Sleazel drops down to 0 HP. But it's actually 1 HP because he's got the shallow grave on him. Mana Void comes out from KVH, isn't able to finish off his targets. He goes down. We've lost Jeppins as well. Goody and Kokoni going at it. And Kokoni looks like he's going to go down. The Requiem on death will get the kill onto Goody for him. Sleazel and Relic both really low on HP. IX Mike not so much, but he'll stun up PQ. And now everyone else on the wheel will look to disengage here. IX Mike going to quickly walk into the pit, check Roche, see what his HP's at, and back away. Relic just finishing his BKB, so he's got that available to him for the next fight. Nice fresh 10-second BKB. What's Gyro's down to? It's down to 9 seconds, so only was able to use it once since we checked in. And yeah, that makes sense. All the teams making their way down to the Roche pit. Now Wheel will walk in. This time it's Wheel in the pit and Roche with that low HP. Yeah, he's going to go down here. Aegis is going to go to Sleazel. He's going to pick it up, but Jeppins comes rolling on in, punches them up in the air, but not able to get the kill. That shallow grave is always there, always on point from Derp. And instead, Boreal loses Jeppins, and well, now Boreal's only 1 kill ahead. Wheel has almost evened it up in terms of kills. That 1 kill there is actually 450 gold going the way of Wheel, and now this could turn it all the way around. PQ is going to die. It's even 21-21, but Kokoni's able to blink away. So the advantage doesn't go the way of Wheel just yet in terms of kills. It's just even. Well, let's take a quick look at our net worth, and oh my gosh, it's come completely back up. Over 4,000 gold in favor of Wheel. XP past 5,000 mark. Not sure how high that's going, but either way, we know that Wheel's in the lead.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And they're going to look to add a little bit more gold onto that as they drop this tier 1 tower.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I said KVH was going to be able to close the gap, but it doesn't look like he has thus far. As in fact, the gap has gone the other way. He's now 1,200 gold behind. Oh no, Kokoni. Looks like he's going to take the fall as well. Will not happen though. Boreal managed to get a kill onto IX Mike as well. So we're still locked at even in terms of our kill total. 22-22.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yule Scepter will get completed by Pizza Dad.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tier
Dire's
2
middle
goes down.
tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower. Radiant's
TP
top
defense
tower
was
has
coming out
fallen.
from Relic there, but looks like he'll actually cancel it. Or actually, those boots of travel. How long do we have on the Aegis? Very fresh Aegis, but we still have quite a bit of time here. So they don't have to rush anything just yet with the Aegis. But it has been a Demon Edge picked up by Sleazel. Could it be a Rapier? YOLO Rapier? No, I don't think so. Probably an MKB. Certainly a good pickup going up against a Shadow Fiend, as he's kind of a natural butterfly carrier. So MKB is always good to have, and MKB is kind of a natural item pickup for Gyro as well. Goody's got an Ogre Club. Probably going to be a BKB for him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now it looks like Wheels positioning themselves to at least put some pressure on this bottom tier 2.
Radiant's
IX
middle
Mike and
tower
Goody
is
off to
under
the
attack.
side. They have used an observer
Radiant's
ward up
middle
here on the
tower
pillar.
has fallen.
Jeppins putting some pressure up here on the top lane, while in the mid lane,
Dire's
Kekoni,
bottom
was able to
tower
drop
is
that
under
tier 1.
attack. Radiant's top tower
Tier 2
is
will go
under
down in the
attack.
bottom lane now.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And they're not done. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to try to break high ground here.
Dire's bottom tower
Kekoni
is
down in
under
the mid
attack.
lane does have a TP. Keep it selected
Radiant's
on him so
middle
you can see
tower is
exactly when he
under attack.
TPs.
Shut away!
Sleazel up on the high ground trying to get a
Dire's
little bit of damage in.
structures are fortified.
What about KVH? He has a
Radiant's
TP
middle
as well.
tower is under attack.
From above!
Nice shard will fly out.
Dazzle!
Radiant's top tower
There's
is
just
under attack.
so much ability to stall them
Radiant
here.
structures
And
are
frankly,
fortified.
this is just advantage Boreal. Mid tier 2 is going to go down.
Radiant's
Free tier
middle
2 for them
tower has
essentially.
fallen.
Sleazel losing a lot of
Radiant's top
HP here. They're going to
tower
lose a
is
shallow
under
grave. And Wheel's actually losing, trying to break the high ground here against 3 heroes.
Radiant's top
5v3.
tower has
And they've
fallen.
lost 2 heroes. Buyback was...
Outlive another.
Oh, sorry, not buyback. The Aegis, of course, was used by the Gyro. Yeah, right? I don't even know. I'm getting confused now. Yes. It's been a long day for me, guys. Bear with me. But either way, definitely advantage going the way of Boreal with that exchange. Wheel really struggling to break the high ground. There was a lot of wave clear coming out from Boreal. They were positioned really well in a nice concave
Invisibility.
around this opening. And they were just constantly wiping out the creep wave, making sure that there was nothing to break up onto the high ground, which meant that if you wanted to have vision up onto that high ground, you're going to have to walk a hero up there. And that's not always the safest thing, especially when you got no creep wave. That means you're going to be taking some tower hits. Like I said, while all that was going on, they managed to drop a tier 3 tower in the top lane, as well as take the mid tier 2. Well, PQ and Pizza Dad will find Relic, who, oh no, Pizza Dad misses the combo out of the Yules into the stun, and Relic able to BKB. And oh, PQ almost going down there. Auto attack was about to land, but he was able to blink away. Now Pizza Dad will unfortunately just miss with the stun. Meanwhile, KVH found a kill onto Derp in the mid lane. Used the mana void to get it.
Illusion! 'Tis mine.
I'm actually quite interested to see what our gold per minutes are right now. 535 on KVH, 520 on Kekoni. So you can see just how fast, or I guess slow, KVH is farming, but a little bit of credit to Kekoni here, as he's basically keeping up with the Anti-Mage, and he's been a lot more involved in the fights, and he's certainly keeping pace with Relic, despite the fact that Wheel has, for the most part in this game, had quite a bit more map control, despite the fact that we're actually even on towers, or at least outer towers. There's still one tier 2 up for each team, but we have lost this tier 3 in the top lane. So technically Boreal is actually up by 1 tower. X Mark going to be farming up this one camp. Just used his stun, and now they're going to open up on him. Fissure's going to come out. It's going to stun him up. And Snowball wasn't even necessary. They got him before the Snowball even landed. But good pick off by them there, and then unfortunately it did cost him PQ, as Relic was able to get that return kill onto the Earthshaker. Just over 2 minutes until we'll have Roche. Means right around 36-minute mark we'll have Roche.
Money to burn.
So I was right about the net worth.
Radiant's
It just took a
bottom
little
tower
while to
is
get
under
there.
attack.
KVH Definitely starting to distance himself from the gyro. Almost 3,000 net worth ahead of the gyro now. But still behind Relic. But not by much. Now 300 behind Relic. I'll expect him to catch up and pass Relic shortly. Derp's actually holding on to Goody's Ogre Club. It's kind of interesting. Obviously passing a reserve reward around. Using a fissure there to kill Ralph the Alpha Wolf. Poor little gyro minion. Whereas you typically use that Helm of the Dominator to stack ancient camps, or when you can't stack those, to stack other neutral camps. But it does have other uses, such as scouting Roche and doing other things like that. Even pulling the creep wave at times. Well, Sleazel doing a little bit of farming, but a little bit too greedy there. He gets punished for it. Good rotation there from Boreal, catching out the enemy carry. Now they've caught Derp here as he's been trapped. He tries to TP, he gets stunned up, and Shallow Grave, as soon as it expires, he goes down. And now they're going to start beating away on the tier 3 here. They do have buyback available on the gyro, they'll use it. No buyback available for the Dazzle, so they will look to defend 4v5 for 40 seconds, but Boreal's not going to stick around long enough. They got the buyback, they got what they came for, now they're going to back away. Go back to farming. KVH did have to pop his BKB in the top lane. Ping just came out from Relic acknowledging the fact that that BKB was used and saying, hey, this Animage, he's a vulnerable target. And he definitely is going to need to play safe for the next 50 seconds, because look at this. Look at Wheel, they're coming up here for him, they know. Without a BKB on the Animage, that's as good as time as ever to be able to kill that Animage. It's hard enough to kill one, let alone one who's got a BKB up. I mean, he doesn't even have his Manta up. But they won't find the kill. KVH did a good job of dodging them. Moved basically directly opposite the map from them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I do want to note that he made that rotation away from top. I'm drawing on the minimap right here. He made that rotation away from top while they were coming up here without any vision. It's just game sense. And it wasn't because there was nowhere else for him to farm. He could have stopped and farmed along the way. He just realized that there was... He needed to make that movement away because their rotation was potentially going to be coming out there. And, well, it's just good movement. Bottom tier 2 will go down as Boreal just actually, as a team, ended up with superior movement there. Now they'll get some damage on this tier 3.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And wow, that tier 3 is going down quickly. Ix Mike will blink in, get the burrow strike off, but then gets tossed up in the air. Oh, not landing into a stun as he gets force staffed away. Goody will be our first hero to fall. Ix Mike on really low HP, but does get the epicenter off. Bro strikes in and even sits in a sandstorm. Oh my goodness, he's not even going to die. He gets away. We lose Kakoni. Will we lose another? Doesn't look like it. Looks like the 3 remaining heroes on Boreal will be able to get away. But for all intents and purposes, this tier 3 has gone down. So we've got 2 lanes of tier 3s gone. 2 lanes of racks exposed. Still all the towers standing, or at least the tier 3's towers standing for Boreal. This one's not even available yet because the tier 2's up, but it's sitting on 37 HP, so that tier 2 can go down pretty much any moment. We'll quickly cycle through our items. We got drums on Dazzle. Sand King has picked up a 4 staff, sitting on 2,200 gold. What does Relic have? He's actually upgraded his boots of travel. Also picked up a Scythe of Ice. So Sheepstick on the Invoker. The Lion He's picked up his Mithril Hammer, so getting closer to finishing that BKB. And then Sleazel, he's finished his MKB, and now he's sitting on another 2,100 gold. Alex managed to find a kill there onto PQ, and actually onto Pizza Dad as well. And now KVH looking for a little bit of redemption or revenge here, as he's going to go after IX Mike, who will stun him up. And now KVH even popping the BKB. They're going after this. And Kakoni even popping the BKB as well. Are these down to 5 seconds? No, the Animage's isn't. Kakoni's is, so he's kind of free to pop it there. It's not like his can get any shorter. KVH, you want to be a little bit more hesitant with using your BKB charge, or at least you want to be sure that this is a real engage. You don't want to waste those early charges.
Dire's top tower is under it. Dire's
Stun
top
coming
tower
out. KVH is in trouble now. There's no way he's getting out of this. He's going to go down, but he does have Aegis, so he will respawn. But I think Wheel will certainly be happy with the fact that they just brought down that Animage, got that Aegis off of him. We go back to the items. PQ's got that Blink Dagger. He's also picked up an Ogre Club, so probably be coming out from him. BKB, very important item for both teams in this game. KVH, we were just talking about his BKB, but he's got his Battle Fury, Manta, and now an Abyssal. He just had a Basher, but just upgraded to Abyssal. So not only can he passively bash as he attacks, but now he's got an activatable bash as well. Which will be quite good, especially for locking down BKB targets like this gyro. If you can get on him, oops, like the gyro. If you can get on him and disable him for the majority of his 7-second BKB, that'll be quite strong. Speaking of Sleazel, he has picked up a Reaver. He's almost done his Satanic. Jeppins will find Derp here and. Sorry, little Dazzle, you're done. Jeppins has his Blink, his Deso, and a BKB. And Pizza Dad, I haven't covered him. He's got a Yule Scepter and a Point Booster, so eventually an Aghanims is going to be coming out for him. A little bit of a ways out, though. Kakoni, he's got his Scotty. He's also got a Hyperstone. And sitting on 3,100 gold.
Radiant's bottom tower is
AC
under attack.
probably. Oh wow, Pizza Dad had more components than I expected for that Aghanims, as he just finished it. They were on the courier. I was thinking he looked a little light on items there. Gem comes out from the Earthshaker. They're going to look to knock down some of that Radiant Vision. Oh, IX Mike will find Pizza Dad. Jeppins there as well. Pizza Dad will go down. I think we're going to lose Jeppins as well. Good pick off there for Wheels. They find 2. We'll check Roche, but he's not up yet.
Haste!
Satanic now getting finished by Sleazel. Both teams kind of content with farming as well. We just got an AC pickup on Kakoni. The question is who's in the better position here with this kind of passive farming? You have to think it's Boreal. They've got the Animage, they've got a Shadow Fiend. It's pretty good for going late. I mean, they even got a Lina. They got a Tusk. Like, they've got some late game skilling there. Problem is, Wheel, I don't know. They've got a Gyro. Gyro is obviously great late because of the amount of damage he can dish out with Flak Cannon once his damage gets insane. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, you've got a lot of damage coming out from the Anti-Mage and the Shadow Fiend, and as long as they can survive through the damage coming out from the Gyro, they should be okay. The next question is what kind of control can the Invoker put out? Sand King's gonna basically fall off, and his items really haven't scaled well enough for him to be a real big threat going in late into the game. Both teams very aware that Roche is a very real possibility. Or of very real importance. We're going to have a refresher picked up by Relic. He's still sitting on 2,400 gold. And I actually want to take a quick look and see how many heroes we have actually saving buyback. Surprisingly, Gyro is not holding on to buyback right now. Neither is the Shadow Fiend. You would expect all the cores to be holding on to buyback right now. Probably from this point forward, they'll probably hold on to buyback, but who knows? I've been wrong in the past. Boreal just kind of backs away from any kind of aggressive position they were in. Goes back to defending and... Are we gonna have a re-engage here? Ike's Mike? No. Just thinking about it. Yeah, you see a little bit of drawing coming out on the map. There was a little bit before that coming out from Derp Drip saying that kind of pushing down the side of the lane.
No.
We'll have a smoke coming up from Boreal now. Well, we can see their path on the mini-map.
I'll take that. Illusion.
We'll actually back away here. And unfortunately we have Relic DCing. He's all the way up in the top lane, so he's actually completely away from any of this. But unfortunately he has DC'd, so we'll just wait for him to rejoin. I am going to take this brief second to take a sip of water though. So I'll be right back with you guys in 1 second as well. It looks like Relic is back. Game resumed and Relic is still green for me on the minimap. It's a little bit unfortunate, but hopefully he'll turn to purple. No, still appears to be green. Oh well. We'll just have to get used to a green invoker. But Boreal's found their way into the pit. Roche is dropping very, very quickly. Wheel is on their way. They're going to be coming in. Are they going to be able to get there in time? Doesn't look like it. Roche going to go down. Aegis will go on to the Shadow Fiend. Cheese is going to be on the ground. Weave's going to get cast on all the heroes on a wheel, giving them a ton of armor. But will we even see an engage here? It doesn't look like it. We had a Demon Edge picked up by the Shadow Fiend. Heart also picked up by the Anti-Mage.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
BKB is going to get popped by Jeppins there as he was potentially getting caught out there. He's the one who's going to be holding the cheese. And now Wheel will actually back away. How many seconds is left on this? Ooh, that was a 9-second BKB charge that Jeppins was forced to use there. That hurts. Especially the later and later you get into the game, those early BKB charges are more and more effective. Because once you start doing scaling really well and doing a lot of damage later on in the game as one of these cores. If you're able to have one of those longer second duration BKBs, the difference between a 5-second BKB and a 10-second BKB is obviously 5 seconds, but the amount of damage that you can put out in that extra 5 seconds while no one can disable you is huge. But that's where certain items like the Abyssal Blade comes in handy, because you're able to CC someone and mitigate some of that ridiculous damage that's getting put out while they're magic immune. KVH kind of blinking up here. I'll actually just blink up into the trees. We will have mass TPs coming out from everyone, because they've got to go back and defend. Because Kekoni has just walked up onto the high ground. He's got a DD Shadow Fiend, and they're going to lose their melee racks, or are they? Glyph's going to get used. KVH is going to TP on in here as well. And yes, the melee racks will go down. Will the range racks? Looks like they're going to go down as well. And good positioning, good maneuvering on the map coming up from Boreal. They're getting that racks down. Great play from them. And now a wheel. They're down a set of racks. How will they?
Invisibility.
They've got an extra wave now to essentially deal with. Stronger creeps in the bottom lane. They've got to manage this lane now before they're able to really do anything on the map. Normally you do, but it's even, right? So all you have to do is get it pushing slightly in your favor. Now it has to be pushing a lot more strongly in your favor, because, well, it's not even. The creep's strength is not even. Well, let's take a look at our gold graph. It's come all the way back down in favor of Boreal, but still very, very close. This gold discrepancy is not much at this stage in the game. 50 minutes into the game, just 6k or so, maybe even 7k. No, yeah, there we go. Now it's coming back down. So yeah, we're almost at 10k gold, differentiating these two teams. That's still, I mean, it's a clear advantage for Boreal, but it's not really the biggest difference in the world. Kekoni wiping out the creep wave. Remember, we don't have a tier 3 tower here in the top lane. Will they be able to commit to these racks? Bottom lane is always going to naturally be pushing in Boreal's favor, so they might want to wait until that bottom wave starts pushing further, and someone from Wheel has to make a rotation down towards the bottom lane to push it back, and then that's their time to strike and try to take the high ground and start beating up some of these racks. Oh no, KVH has been CC'd in the mid lane, taking quite a bit of damage, but they're not even able to bring him down to half, and he's got a heart right now, so he'll be able to regen up quickly, but he's not even going to wait for the regen. They're just going to go right in. They want to bring down Relic. He's been shallow graved, and he gets the invis off, but he's not able to move. He's trapped by the fissure and the ice shard, and the Requiem finishes him off. Relic will actually just buy back into the game. Now Jeppins comes jumping on in, goes on Dirt, but the shallow grave's there again. This time we will lose Jeppins. He buys back. IX Mike gets tossed up in the air. Now, ooh, nice tornado finds both KVH and Kekoni. Meatball doesn't really run along the same line, but still does damage to KVH at least. Now they'll drop the mid-tier 3 towers. No tier 3s left remaining. IX Mike jumps on in. Huge epicenter, huge burrow strike, huge team fight for Wheel as they wipe everyone on the side of Boreal. We got buybacks galore coming out from them. Buyback from KVH and from PQ. Now Sleazel being kept alive from that shallow grave. That shallow grave is huge at this point in the game, but Sleazel will still go down. Jeppins trying to run away. Keep in mind he bought back. He'll just jump into his snowball. KVH and Kekoni.
Let's heat things up.
I think everyone's bought back here. We can switch over to the buyback status. No one's got one left. So we know there's not going to be any more buybacks going forward, but PQ is going to blink on forward. Lay down the Echo. Goody now gets shallow grave. But we did just lose Relic. Goody's going to go down in a second. Sleazel with the call downs hitting all three of these heroes. He's in a man fight with KVH, but KVH able to blink away. Kekoni Now he'll just be able to walk away. Sleazel not able to chase. Pizza Dad almost able to finish off Sleazel, but once again, Derp's there with the shallow grave. These shallow graves have been on point from Derp. And what a crazy fight that just was. The only hero to not buy back was IX Mike on the Sand King. He's the only one who didn't buy back and all that.
Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Unreal. And the last set of racks will go down. Boreal get the mega creeps, and they are looking pretty damn good to seal that ticket to the grand finals to go up against the North American Rejects in a best of 5.
Under attack.
But Wheel, they're definitely not gonna throw in the towel here. Like I said, you lose this and that's it. You're third. There's nothing further after this, so might as well stick it in all the way, or stick it out all the way to the end. As this is still a pretty close game. 8,000 gold now. XP's actually come back in favor of Wheel. And now Boreal kind of marching down mid. At least have the 2 big cores down here. Now Jeppins will meet up with them as well. Now just missing the supports. Oh, they're gonna deal a bunch of damage to Sleazel, but Shallow Grave is there. Sleazel healing himself right back up, almost to full, using that Satanic. IX Mike comes jumping on in with the epicenter, but not really doing that much damage. The majority of the damage was on KVH, who just kind of blinks away, and look at that regen with the changes to Heart. He's already back to full. "55 minutes into this game. We got mega creeps, but it's not over. The thing that's interesting is, if you're Boreal, how do you lose this game? Well, I'm not going to be able to address that. PQ blinks on and just blows up IX Mike with an epicenter. Not an epicenter, with a Echo Slam. The Slamajamas. But you have to think of, if you're Boreal, how do you lose this game? You get in a fight, the fight's not good, you don't have any buybacks, and Wheel just marches down and ends the game. Whoops. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you guys. But we're gonna have a fight. I just broke something, but it'll be okay. We're gonna team fight here to close this one out. Pizza Dad gonna throw it the finger onto Goody. But let's take a look at KVH as he's the big one. As he's in a man fight here with the gyro, but then he blinks away. Where did he blink to? Who knows? He just blinked up in the lane as Kikoni's gonna be able to finish this off. The last tier 4 is down. As the Ancient is getting focused, the throne is about to fall, and Boreal is going to be going to the grand finals. They'll finish third. So the defending runner-ups will actually move down a slot. So they finished second last time around. They'll finish third this time. And this is the kind of thing that I was trying to say with regards to the TI invites. You've got Wheel, which I think everyone considered to be a shoo-in. You look at this matchup, 72% on Dota 2 Lounge in favor of Wheel, 65% on Gosu Gamers in favor of Wheel. And I think everyone would have expected Wheel to be the favorites going into this. But Boreal's been proving themselves lately, and they can prove that they can play with these guys, and they're definitely one of these top-tier teams. And now they just beat Wheel in a best-of-3. And this is a team that didn't get invited to the qualifiers. It wasn't like Wheel was on the bubble whether or not they would get in. But Boreal, they weren't. And unfortunately, they didn't even make it through the open qualifiers. So I guess that actually shows just how close those qualifiers are, and certainly how close the open qualifiers are. Maybe, the duration of the of the open qualifiers had something to do with it, but I mean all the teams had to play through that. But Boreal definitely showing that, you know, maybe they didn't deserve an invite. But unfortunately, we won't get to see any more from them in the international. But we will get to see more from them in the grand finals, as they'll be going up against the North American Rejects on our next cast, which is going to be Thursday at 6:30 p.m. And like I said, that's a best of 5 between the North American Rejects and Boreal. That should be a good one. If the time is still actually tentative, so if it does change, I'll let you guys know. But as it stands right now, that is the time that was set. It was originally actually scheduled for tomorrow. It's not the case. It was bumped back a day. But my goodness, what a series. That was great. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. That was there was a lot of action in that game. I wish I actually could see the kill total. I don't really want to do the math right now. But yeah, that was good. That was a lot of fun. As wow, Boreal. Not bad. Not last fight, second to last fight. 9 buybacks in a fight. My goodness. Well, guys, once again, I'm Niz. This was the Dota 2 Canada Cup. Thanks for watching. It was a blast for me. I hope it was a blast for you. If you did enjoy the cast, hit that follow button. Twitch.tv/NizCast. I'll upload all these VODs to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/NizCast. You can hit me up on Twitter as well, at NizCast. All the information, all that stuff. If you didn't catch it as I said it, it's below the stream. So you can find it all there. Just click all the buttons. You'll find it. Besides that, Dota2.ca for more information about the Dota 2 Canada Cup. Also, buy the damn in-game ticket because we want to hit that $12,000, as that would be a really awesome milestone to hit. So buy that ticket. And make sure you come back on Thursday to join us. It's Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. All right, that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. I hope you guys have a good night. I know I will. And we'll see you again on Thursday.